There are not too many plants that are going to grow happily underneath the tree, but today I thought I would show you some of the best that will add colour and form and life if you want to create a border beneath a tree. So here's just a few. We've got lots of ground covering things, so things like the vincas, either you can get the white flowers or blues or purple flowers. We've got early blooming ajugas, which will form a dense carpet of evergreen foliage. All these spreading stems, they root along as they go, so and they all knit together, so it really forms a nice sort of carpeting effect. Brunneras are really popular, and this one called Jack Frost has its silvery foliage, which is really important in a shadier spot because things like the white and the silver foliage here, also of this lamium, they really lift a dark space. So think about adding some of these if you want to just make the whole area look a little less dark and bring in some light. For larger things, we've got these Euonymus, and again you can see the colourful foliage. It really helps liven up a shady area. Other plants are the geraniums. Now, not all geraniums will grow in dry shade, but Geranium phaeum and Geranium macrorrhizum will both tolerate conditions under a tree. This one's Geranium phaeum album, and come late spring, early summer, it's going to be producing lots of little white flowers. It's very pretty. The species has, they're only quite small, but they're the deepest, darkest ruby plum, almost blood red. They're absolutely gorgeous. So that's one to think about. And I have to mention the Sacrococca. This one's called Winter Gem, and it is a gem in winter. It's an evergreen shrub. It gets reasonably big, and the foliage is nice, but it's in winter that it comes into its own. Along the stems it produces these tiny little creamy white flowers. They don't look much, but their smell is absolutely divine. So definitely worth a mention, as are the Virginias. These form a little rosette of evergreen foliage, and this one's called Overture. The foliage of this one often turns ruby red in winter. As soon as the temperatures start to drop, the foliage changes colour, and then in spring and summer it reverts back to the green. But very pretty spring flowers. This is another type of Virginia. This one's called Bressingham White. They're very tough, very hardy, last but not least, I haven't mentioned these Liriopes. Now, Liriopes have got this evergreen grass-like foliage, and they look absolutely stunning planted en masse. So if you just want to create a swathe of green grassy-like foliage with the added bonus of autumn flowers, you can get them in blue or white, then Liriope's the one to choose. So once again, I cannot stress how important it is though to keep everything really well watered. If you're looking at the root ball size of these little plants compared to the ginormous root ball of a tree like this, then there's no guessing who's going to get the lion's share of the water. So it's really important for the first year or two that you keep everything really well watered. But then once it's established, it's going to be away, and they'll be giving you lots of colour throughout the year.